Today we're in Akureyri, Iceland, the so-called capital of the north. This town is small, charming, and weirdly cozy for being just 62 miles from the Arctic Circle. You're surrounded by towering, snow-capped mountains, dramatic skies, and the kind of scenery that makes you do a double take. In this video, we're exploring what you can do in Akureyri on a cruise ship schedule, including a visit to one of the most beautiful waterfalls in Iceland, a walk through a botanical garden that somehow exists this close to the Arctic, and maybe even a few whales on your way out. Let's start with the basics. If you're arriving by cruise ship, Akureyri is one of the easiest ports in all of Iceland. No industrial zone, no shuttle bus, no hour-long ride into town. You dock directly in the middle of everything. When they say walkable port, this is what they mean. In about 5 minutes, you're standing at the first intersection in town, complete with a heart-shaped stoplight that pretty much sets the tone for the rest of the day. You'll see a small souvenir shop immediately after getting off the ship. Just past that is a little parking lot that becomes the heartbeat of port activity. Tour operators set up here with paper signs offering last-minute trips to Godafoss, whale-watching tours, the Forest Lagoon, and other excursions. Taxi drivers hover nearby with printed rate cards and laminated photos of waterfalls and hot springs. The prices are more reasonable than the shore excursions desk, and the drivers know the ship's schedule. Honestly, it's kind of fun to show up and pick your adventure based on what feels right that day. That's exactly what we did. We ended up splitting a taxi with another couple from the ship and headed out to Godafoss Waterfall. Total cost was about $70 per person, which is wildly cheaper than the cruise line excursion and gave us the freedom to stop along the way and skip the part where you're herded on and off of a too-big bus. Our driver was a local who gave us the history of every rock and plant that we passed. The drive out to Godafoss is beautiful. You follow the coastline along the fjord before cutting inland along the ring road. This road circles the entire country, but we're just taking a 45-minute slice of it. About halfway through the drive, you hit the Vatalahiti Tunnel. It's about 7 kilometers or 4.5 miles of dimly lit mountain interior that feels like you're entering a secret government facility. In the middle of the tunnel, there's a small pull-off, and if your driver is cool, they'll stop and show you a narrow little cave-like room that has a tiny exhibit about the tunnel's construction. It's mostly a few photos and a diagram. It's not going to blow your mind, but it's exactly the kind of random secret tourist thing we live for. And then you arrive at Godafoss. If you're into waterfalls, and I assume you are if you're in Iceland, this one is worth the hype. It's not the tallest waterfall in Iceland, but it's easily one of the most photogenic. The falls stretch in a wide, dramatic arc, plunging into a glacier river that winds through a black rock canyon. On a sunny day, rainbows appear in the mist. On a cloudy day, it looks like you're in a Viking epic. So really, it's a win-win. There are 2 sides to the falls, and each one gives you a completely different perspective. We started on the west side where you can get right up close to the rushing water. It's a bit rocky, definitely bring shoes with good traction, but it's worth every step. You can feel the spray hit your face, and you realize just how powerful these falls are. If you've got a waterproof camera or a phone that claims to be waterproof, this is where you can get your close-up shots. There's a path that runs up above the falls, giving you a great angle looking down into the canyon. If you've got the time and energy, there's a footbridge further up the river that lets you cross to the east side. That side is more developed with a paved path and better panoramic views, but it's also where most of the tour buses go, so it can feel a little more crowded. If you've got 45 minutes to an hour total, you can do both sides. If you're short on time, west side wins for the drama, east side wins for the postcard shot.
Hi, we're here at Akureyri at Goðafoss Falls. Sorry, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but that is all I got for you. So this is one of the main attractions here in town. It is about a 40-minute drive outside of the city center, and it is stunningly beautiful. This waterfall is created from natural springs in the mountains and surrounded by volcanoes. It's amazing.
After soaking it in, both figuratively and literally, we headed back to Akureyri. This time our driver took the mountain road instead of the tunnel, and I'm so glad we did. The road winds up and above the fjord, giving you sweeping views of the water below and the town of Akureyri along the shoreline. It's less direct, but beautiful. Highly recommended. Once back in town, our first stop was the Akureyri Botanical Garden. It's free to visit, located just 100 kilometers, about 62 miles from the Arctic Circle. It doesn't sound like the kind of place you'd expect to find blooming flowers and manicured walkways, but somehow, here it is. Thanks to a mild microclimate and some dedicated gardeners, the Akureyri Botanical Garden manages to grow over 7,000 plant species, more than 400 of which are native to Iceland. There's a little of everything: alpine flowers, birch groves, mossy knolls, herbs with names you can't pronounce, and even a rose garden. The garden winds through little paths and patches, with benches tucked into corners and occasional sculptures hiding behind shrubs. There's also a cafe in the middle if you'd like the idea of sipping a cup of coffee or eating some Icelandic pastries in an idyllic setting. We probably spent 45 minutes in the gardens, though you could easily spend more. From there, we made our way back toward town, walking downhill along a quiet street that led us to Akureyri, the massive Lutheran church perched on a hilltop overlooking downtown. It's hard to miss. The architecture is striking. Twin spires, basalt-colored concrete, and a kind of minimalist meets brutalist thing. It was designed by Gunjan Samuelsson, the same architect who did Hallgrímskirkja in Reykjavik, but this one is more compact and symmetrical. The staircase out front is steep but short, and it's worth a climb just for the view. The church was closed when we visited. It's usually open to visitors during weekday afternoons, but check ahead. Inside, there's a large pipe organ, some stained glass, and a model ship hanging from the ceiling meant to symbolize protection for seafarers. It's a quick visit if you can get in. If not, the outside view is enough. Near the bottom of the church steps is the Akureyri Art Museum. It's small, modern, and usually features rotating exhibits from Icelandic and Nordic artists. It's the kind of place you can pop into for 20 or 30 minutes, get inspired, and head back out. If you're short on time or allergic to modern art, you won't miss much by skipping it, but it's a nice bonus if you're looking to escape the weather. Now, if you're thinking about getting around Akureyri beyond walking, here's something cool. The city buses are totally free. You don't need a card, a QR code, or anything. Just get on. But they don't run on national holidays, and on weekends they only operate from about noon to 7 p.m. So if it's a Sunday and you're standing at a bus stop wondering where your ride is, that's why. There are hop-on and hop-off buses available from the port as well, but honestly, Akureyri is compact enough that unless mobility is a concern, you can see a ton on foot. We spent the rest of the afternoon exploring Hofnastrati, the town's main shopping street. There are souvenir shops, yes, but also some genuinely cool local design shops and Icelandic stores. We walked all the way past the main shopping area to the Landmannir statue, the settlers. It's a bronze sculpture commemorating the arrival of Norse settlers in the region. It's not massive, but it's symbolic, and the small hill it sits on gives you a pretty great view of the fjord and the cruise ship waiting below. We made our way back to the ship with time to spare, passing the Hof Cultural and Conference Center. This place looks like a Star Wars building landed on Earth. It's all round with curved stone and angular glass. It stands out in the best way. Inside there's a concert hall and some gallery space, but even if you're just walking by, it's worth checking out. Before we wrap up, let's talk about whales. Akureyri is one of the top spots in Iceland for whale watching. There are multiple tours available right from the port, with options ranging from large comfortable boats to zippy little rib boats that get you closer to the action. If you want to skip the falls and see some whales, there are great excursions from here. If you don't join a whale watching tour, bundle up as the ship pushes out. Keep your eyes on the water. We saw multiple humpbacks from the deck, lots of blowhole spouting, some whale tails, the whole works. And this wasn't even a whale watching tour, just looking out at the sea from the promenade deck. Akureyri might be one of the smallest ports on your Iceland itinerary, but it packs in a lot. A stunning waterfall, a free botanical garden, whale sightings, public art, and no logistical nonsense getting off the ship. Whether you book a tour or wing it from the port, you're in for a solid day. If this helped you plan your visit, help us out. Click that like button and please subscribe to our channel. For more info on Akureyri, plus other cruise port guides from this cruise and destinations around the world, check out nowgoseeit.com. Now go see Akureyri, Iceland.